Austin Kane and Gabe Brandyn here with me. We came up with this idea during the NFL draft, and we thought it would be fun to start a podcast and start talking about our knowledge of sports and what our thoughts are and our opinions. First off, we have Gabe Brandyn. Gabe is just finished up his freshman year at Auburn. He is, like me, a Philly born and bred fan. He is an Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, and Phillies fan. That's what he will be for life. And now an Auburn football fan. Gabe?
Sure.
Next,
Hello, everyone. Oh, okay.
Next, we have Austin Kane. He is almost like me and Gabe, except for he is a Steelers fan instead of an Eagles fan. Austin has just finished up his freshman year at Tampa.
What's good?
Maybe one day we'll be able to figure out why he chose the Steelers, but who knows? And lastly, we have Brandyn Pockris. Brandyn is a baseball player who unfortunately did not get to play his freshman season due to the coronavirus. But Brandyn is different than the rest of us, and he is a New York fan. You know, we live with it because they usually suck. He is a Jets, Rangers, Mets, and what sport am I missing here? They're not very good.
Oh, I mean, you're missing hockey, probably. Rangers, Knicks, Mets, Jets.
Oh, the Knicks. Yeah, they're just basically not relevant. Since I've been born, at least.
They're just trash all over the world. Oh.
They think they're going to get the top player and top pick, and then they end up with Julius Randle.
Hey, got to keep that hope alive, man. Just how it is.
Lastly, me, I am finishing up my high school, sitting at home now due to the coronavirus, no graduation. But like Gabe, Eagles fan, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, and I'll be playing soccer at Allegheny College come fall if it happens. And so first off, we're going to talk about The Last Dance, which just finished up last night. And I watched all 10 episodes, and I thought they were all amazing personally. And I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts.
I guess I'll start. Essentially, gonna do what we're gonna normally do on this podcast. We're gonna take events from the sports world, and we're gonna basically give our 4 opinions. I mean, some of us may overlap. We may argue on different things, but you're gonna get 4 distinctly different viewpoints on every single topic that we bring to hand in this podcast. So starting with that, I thought the documentary was amazing. I mean, stretching it out across 5 weeks, 2 episodes a night, I mean, it kept you engaged. I mean, you really learned for our generation who we didn't get to see MJ play at the height of his prime or really at all. It really gave you insight into the type of player that he was and the type of competitor that he was and how he would essentially do anything to get to the top of the mountain. And if you weren't with him, you were left behind. And I loved every minute of it. I wish there were 10 more episodes, to be completely honest here.
I mean, we kind of grew up with the Mamba mentality and Kobe Bryant, but after watching this with Jordan, you can really see that there's the Mamba mentality and then there's whatever Jordan wanted to do.
Keep in mind, on top of that, there's what LeBron wants to do.
We'll get there. But what were your thoughts on The Last Dance, Gabe?
I didn't watch the last 2 episodes, but I thought it was – I actually thought it was really good. It got into a lot of detail about Jordan's career, how it all started, pretty much how it all ended, and everything between about what happened with all his teammates and him and his retirement and between his career. It was very well put together. His
baseball career was very interesting too.
Yeah, definitely.
Austin's kind of our residential baseball guy. So, Austin, I know you know a little about the lockout. And there's rumors that if the lockout never happens, Jordan doesn't ever come back to basketball. Do you think there's some truth behind that? Like, if that lockdown never happens?
Can you repeat that? I cannot really hear you at all.
There was the lockout in the 90s when Jordan was playing baseball, and because of the lockout, he went back to basketball. Do you think without the lockout, Jordan might have been an NBA player future?
I think maybe. I don't know for how long because, I don't know, he's just a great competitor in basketball. So his game kind of changes over to baseball. He's a great player, great competitor, but I don't know, he's just a much better basketball player than he was baseball. So you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, to build off that point, Jordan hit, I think it was around 200, 215 without playing baseball for like 12 years in Double A. Now, the minor leagues are a complex system, but basically when it comes to that, Double A is the highest level. Triple A is for the guys that are going back and forth all the time and have that taste in the majors. But that Double A experience is all the top prospects, all the guys that are considered that future superstar for their teams. The fact that he hit 200 and had like 50 RBIs after not playing for 12 years, I 100% think he would have made it to the MLB. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I'm not 100% sure on that because he was already in his 30s, and that's kind of past prime baseball years. So like,
it was
how far he would have actually gotten.
It's kind of like we could think about it like today with Tim Tebow.
Oh yeah, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not making it up.
I mean, with what Jordan brought, and I know Tebow would be like kind of a mini, but like Jordan would have been at a point of publicity stump, but maybe he would have had a possibility of an impact for 1 or 2 years before he probably would have aged out.
Yeah, I mean, Double A at 31, not playing since high school. How much can you really do?
That's true.
With all the young guys.
It always would have been cool to see. I mean, we've seen other players do it, but they were much younger when they did it.
Yeah.
It would have been. I think it would have been cool to see Jordan in a White Sox uniform out there.
Yeah, it definitely would have changed the game up a little bit. You never know. Maybe more double sport players, two-way players, stuff like that.
I miss two-way players.
Yeah, it was great. Also, thinking about it, how would the NBA change if Jordan ever came back? Because in my opinion, I think the Knicks win at least one title. Indiana wins at least one title. I think Phoenix probably wins a title.
Utah,
yeah. I mean, think about it. Think about all the guys Jordan eliminated in his playoff runs. Because
single-handedly ended dynasties.
You know Ewing would have got his because he was there every single year. You know Barkley would have got his. You know Malone and Stockton would have got theirs. I mean, it's just insane to look at that and be like, he knocked all these guys out constantly.
It would have been
definitely.
The NBA shape would have been very different because you would have seen a lot more legendary battles between different players. Instead of last night,
rivalries,
Rodman and Malone. Now you're seeing instead it would have been Barkley fighting Malone or Ewing Malone in a final, and that would have been something else to watch. But we never got it because Jordan stood in the way.
Yeah.
Okay. To lead into that, we're going to go on to essentially the greatest debate, I think, going on so far. Is Michael Jordan the GOAT? I mean,
before anything, there is no way anyone can convince anyone on who is better. But everyone can agree that LeBron and Jordan are the top two players of all time.
Yeah, that is a
complete 100%.
There's no right answer to this debate, but
it's just kind of like your personal opinions and like some facts based around it. But there's facts going both ways. Like you have like LeBron has better finals opponents, and that's based on the net ratings, and that's facts. Like his worst finals opponent was the Mavs in 2011, and their net rating was still better than Jordan's best finals opponent. But then you go like Jordan was undefeated, like unbeaten in the finals. He's defensive player of the year, more MVPs, more rings, like whatever. It's just kind of hard to decide on like a side that you want.
Then you get the argument with like championships is obviously it's a team effort. You cannot win. As much as you say it, you can't win the championship on your own. So like obviously,
and they talk about
look at LeBron in 2018 though. Yeah, you can't win a championship with him like LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about big shots and stuff you do. I mean, LeBron was the series MVP with the 3-1 comeback against the Warriors.
Yeah.
But like Steve Kerr, like John Paxson, it was the point guard Kyrie Irving that saved the day with the shot.
Here's the thing. That shot might not happen if LeBron does not chase down Iguodala and get that block. It's a completely different ball game if Warriors
Bulls don't win in '98 if Jordan doesn't pick Malone's pocket from behind and gets the steal before he hits the game winner.
That's true.
I mean, when you're looking at this, right, it's two different eras. Think about it. Jordan's era. You had the post-up, mid-range assassins of Ewing, Malone. You had the dimers like Stockton and Johnson. You had Bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at that, and that's one era. You got the LeBron's era where you have these physically dominant forces like KD. You have the best shooter of all time, probably, in Stephen Curry.
Oh yeah.
You have guys that he's facing like Dirk, who's probably the best European player of all time. I mean, it's so hard to compare the two because it's like 30 years apart. I mean, basketball was bound to change.
Has changed.
Yeah, like back then, basketball was much more physical and like more defense was being played, and now it's just shoot the ball.
Well, that's because of the rule changes, and now basically, like most sports, because they want to sports is a business, they want to protect the best players. In all sports, we see this, that you see a lot more fouls called when things get a lot more physical. In the NBA, you can barely touch a dude without a foul being called. It's just the truth. I mean, if you watch a documentary, you would see Jordan literally fighting Reggie Miller, and there's not even a technical. They just got each other apart and kept playing.
Yeah, the game's a lot more physical.
Watching The Last Dance, I would love to see the NBA turn back to that physical level. I mean, you saw Jordan get absolutely bullied by the bad boy Pistons, and there were times where he would get killed and there's no call. If you got killed by that today, it might be a technical and you're getting ejected.
You had refs dragging guys off the floor in those games,
Yeah.
literally. After one of the episodes, I think it was the Bad Boy Pistons episode, how Jordan finally got over the hump. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I came across this video where the ref is literally dragging Scottie Pippen off the floor after he got completely just like destroyed by one of the people on the Pistons.
I'll tell you what, the entire Pistons team would have destroyed anyone, but LeBron would have I'm not saying LeBron's better. LeBron would have beaten the Pistons because who knows? You won't know that. But I think LeBron is stronger and physical than Jordan was, which makes him more acclimated to succeed in the 90s era rather than Jordan succeeding in today's era of basketball. But
yeah, Jordan had that unbeatable mentality. He would have found the way, in my opinion. And also, back to your point, the fact that people think LeBron would not make it in the 90s is absolutely laughable to me.
Oh, that's just
LeBron would absolutely dominate in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Other than the Pistons, these guys weren't as strong.
In my opinion, both LeBron and Jordan could have dominated in any era of basketball played whenever.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt. They're both dogs. Both will.
So back to the topic of conversation, who do you guys consider the GOAT? I mean, I get, if you guys want me to go first, I'll go. I have to go with Jordan. That undefeated finals record, that the fact that he only made it to 2 Game 7s is in his entire playoff run, it's just that level of greatness. I feel like it's unmatched. LeBron I think will get there by the end of his career, but at this juncture, at this point in time, I think Jordan still has him.
Gabe, why don't you go?
I gotta say, LeBron is the best. I mean, don't think about finals here, because if we're gonna talk about playoffs, then we might as well talk about how Jordan was 1-9 in the playoffs, not including the finals. He did not succeed well, especially before Scottie Pippen. He did not make one finals appearance. I actually saw something earlier today on Twitter. It was I think it was from Barry. We don't know Barry.
The greatest.
LeBron, his team. Oh no. Jordan, when his last year before he retired first time, they won 57 games. the year he retired, they won 55 games. Like you see how strong Jordan's team was. In 2010, when LeBron led the Cavs to the finals, they won 61 games out of the first seed in the East. The year after he left and went to Miami, they won 19 games. The Cavs did.
Just to rebut that real quick, not to take anything what you say, one thing I do want to make a point there is I think some of that comes down to coaching. I don't remember who was coaching the Cavs at the time, but Phil Jackson is arguably the greatest coach of all time in the game of basketball.
It's like a 30 win difference, though. You're going to put 30 wins on the coach.
But
with
they said in the Last Dance, when Jordan left, it really gave them a chance to just absolutely go on with the triangle offense.
I'll keep going off that. LeBron and the Heat in 2014 won 50-plus games. I forget what seed they were in the East. Made to the finals, lost to the Spurs dynasty. And then the year he left and went back to Cleveland, they won 35 games and missed the playoffs completely. That was with Eric Spoelstra as coach too. So like,
fair point.
Probably they had a bad coach then. And then in 2018, I forget what his record was in the regular season. It was like 50-something wins. And then when he left and went to LA, again, a 19-win Cavs, which kind of goes to show how LeBron had to pretty much carry his team to the playoffs and made 8 straight finals appearances.
To support that point, Gabe, before he left for Miami, LeBron made a finals run with guys that you could barely even remember nowadays.
God. There's only one that I remember, and his name's Delonte West, and that's for other reasons.
Exactly. So, like, and also, when Jordan left, the Bulls were still a playoff team, but they couldn't beat the Knicks anymore. They came close, but they couldn't beat them. They weren't.
They still dominated most teams.
Exactly, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with your point.
Like you don't see a Colin Sexton led Cavs team beating the KD Warriors. It just doesn't happen.
It's not happening.
It's not gonna happen.
No shot.
Okay.
All right, but that's pretty much my stance on who's the GOAT. I still think Jordan is the second best player of all time, and many reasons support that. But
personally, I am a Jordan fan over LeBron. I grew up watching LeBron. I've watched basketball my entire life. I've watched plenty of older videos of Jordan, and I've watched The Last Dance, of course. Just for me personally, I believe Jordan's better, not because of the rings, the titles, the mentality, and I think just what he did for the city of Chicago, and he is the reason that the game of basketball is as popular as it is. Magic, Bird.
What about this? You say like Jordan kind of like. What were you saying about Jordan's Chicago again?
He revitalized the entire city of Chicago.
Okay, what about LeBron when he returned to Cleveland and won the championship?
That's a return. That is true. But
wasn't that after the Indians blew the World Series too?
I think it was the same year, yeah.
That's like the definition of reviving a city, coming back
exactly.
after it was like a 3-1 lead the Indians blew, right? Something crazy like that. To the Cubs, who have not won a World. Have they ever won a World Series before that? I don't even know.
But, 100 years though.
Yeah, exactly. They've been cursed forever. I mean, LeBron brought Cleveland back up just the same way.
I mean, Jordan solidified the NBA into what it is today, in my opinion, because Magic and Bird kind of brought the NBA back and brought a real rivalry. And you had the bad boy.
And they brought rivalry back
to help the NBA out, and then Jordan came in and just cemented the NBA as something everyone wanted to watch and be a part of.
Exactly.
Jordan was without social media, without any of that, Jordan was known everywhere. Everyone knew who Michael Jordan was without social media at this time. All you had was the news.
Yeah, best basketball player in the world at the time. Everyone's going to know him.
It's true.
Yeah,
but
but he was also a cultural icon.
Yeah. But so was Allen Iverson.
That's like a whole nother debate.
We'll get into that another time.
Yeah,
we'll get into that another time. All right.
Austin, how about you? Jordan or Bron?
I won't go deep into it because we've said enough, but I'm a LeBron guy. I just like the way I just like his game. We all grew up watching him. I just love watching him. He's a dog. Only player in history, 34,000 points, 9,000 assists, 9,000 rebounds. That's pretty impressive. But, yeah, I'm not going to go too much into detail in that debate.
Okay. How about this good little question? 96 Bulls versus the 2017 Cavaliers?
Oh. The 2017 Cavaliers?
The Cavs?
Or the
Whichever
Warriors.
No, I'm talking
Warriors.
LeBron's Cavs, the ones that
Oh,
came
the
back from the
Bulls.
Warriors
The Bulls,
against Jordan's
dude.
Bulls.
The Bulls.
The Bulls.
Come on.
It was literally
I would say the
LeBron.
Bulls.
Yeah, it was
It's
LeBron. I mean,
LeBron and Kyrie leading the show. Like, what was it, Game 5, they had 41 or 41 each or something.
Exactly, yeah.
was Kevin Love playing at that time? Then was he hurt?
He was
again?
hurt.
Was,
Kevin Love-
yeah,
Kevin-
he's always
no.
No,
Kevin
Kevin was playing.
He was?
Kevin Love was
I
there.
thought he was
Yeah.
hurt.
He locked down Curry at the end of Game 7.
I don't know.
So you
I'm taking the
so you
Bulls
think
game, though.
that even with LeBron on the team, that Jordan's Bulls will prevail?
Yes.
I do think so, yes, because Jordan had a better supporting cast.
But if you put that situation between that Bulls team and the 2017 Golden State Warriors,
That's a
Oof.
question.
it's a totally
Warriors
different
four.
debate.
I
That-
think it all comes down to who's refereeing the game and what era we're playing in.
All right, well,
Well, yeah, there's two totally different games. Like those are the two things farthest away from each
I'll
other.
tell you what, in today's era, the Warriors sweep.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
In the 90s, Warriors in 6.
I don't think KD comes out alive. I think Scottie Pippen would physically abuse Kevin Durant.
I don't know, man.
That would.
KD is athletic. He can score at will. No one.
Draymond would also thrive in that era. You got
Draymond-
you got to remember that.
That would
Draymond-
expose Draymond.
Draymond, no, here's the thing. Draymond's not the best player. He's not the best rebounder, obviously. Dennis Rodman, I think, holds that, and he probably will forever. But Draymond is a physical guy, and he doesn't care. He will definitely thrive.
And also, you got to remember, they still have Iggy on that team. You have Clay.
Exactly, yeah.
Clay would be really good because Clay is way more than just a jump shooter, which everybody forgets.
Clay's a very good defender. He's underrated, I think.
Curry is basically Reggie Miller for Jordan, and Jordan struggled with Reggie Miller. So I do think the Warriors pull that out.
I think you guys are forgetting about the other defensive piece of the Bulls and Ron Harper.
Yeah,
That's another kid.
Because that
Yeah.
gives the ability for Jordan to – I know Klay Thompson does a lot of running around, but Jordan would most likely be guarding Klay. You'd have and that would put Harper and Pippen on KD and Curry.
You also have Kukoc.
Kukoc can't play defense. I love him to God.
But that's another scorer for the Bulls.
Yes. He would be another one who would absolutely thrive in today's game.
here's the thing, though. The Warriors bench was deep. Like,
Bulls
their
only –
six-man is strong Livingston, too. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
The Bulls only went 8-9 deep. I mean, you saw Burrell, Kerr came off the bench or started, or Ron Harper would come in. You had Bueller, and Bill Wennington came in occasionally.
who was the Warriors center in 2017?
Wasn't it Bogut?
Bogut, ooh,
Was it JaVale?
JaVale.
Oh,
It was.
it was Deville, yeah.
It was.
Must have
Yeah.
been.
I miss Anderson Vandership.
Remember when was he the one? Was Varejao the one that lost like 3
Both
straight
years.
going back to back or something?
We picked the wrong team 2 years in a row.
Because he went to the Warriors.
That's so unlucky.
Lost with the Cavs, goes to the Warriors, loses with the Warriors.
He's had to get one somewhere, right?
So next off, we're going to switch gears here, and let's talk about sports coming back with the whole coronavirus thing.
Matt, before you go to that, like with the whole thing we just did with Dry, I mean, this is what you're gonna get from us basically the entire time. I mean, yeah, you have people agreeing, but you're getting 4 different viewpoints on why each person is thinking that certain way. It's not gonna be the exact same line of thinking. Like you have me saying one thing, and Gabe giving completely different points on the stats, and then you have Austin's opinion and Matik's opinion. Personally, I think that's a great thing to have on a show like this, and I think it's going to work really well in our favor.
Oh, hopefully.
That's what we hope. Coronavirus time. We all love this. We're all stuck in our houses with not much to do.
Yep. I love being home.
The good news is we've been seeing a lot more positive news about sports being able to return soon. We saw just today the Texas governor and the California governor have given within the next couple weeks for sports to return without fans in their states. In other countries, we've seen in Germany, soccer's back. It's just we're slowly NASCAR and
golf return this weekend.
Yeah.
Forgot about UFC.
The UFC fights return.
UFC's been going on.
We're slowly seeing things return. I know it'll probably be a while without fans, but when do you guys believe we can see the actual leagues start to resume?
I think as early as the end of June.
Early in June?
I'm leaning more towards July. I think beginning of July, you're going to have Memorial Day weekend, because honestly, I think you see with our state, New Jersey, you have things starting to slowly open back up. If you start to slowly back up and your numbers aren't completely skyrocketing, you're going to see more states do the same thing, because we actually have the hospital bed capacity to do that. And once you slowly start to open back up, players and the leagues are going to feel more comfortable about starting to resume their games and make an actual plan. And once you see that, yes, you're not going to have fans in the stands, which is a pretty big key in my opinion. But I think these sports are going to be back sooner rather than later.
I'll tell you what, for baseball and basketball, you don't really need fans to play. Hockey and football, though, especially college football, you have to have fans, at least some.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I completely agree with that.
Gabe, you think you'll be able to be rooting for your Auburn there in the fall?
I think so, because I think they have to have SEC football. They cannot not have SEC. The entire South will.
Exactly. Without going political or anything towards that with any governors, any states or parties, I really think that if college football does not happen in the South, there will be a riot and there will be problems.
At least just the Power 5 schools have college football.
Well, the problem is that the California shut down all their state schools, and so they're not reopening in the fall.
But in my opinion, they did it at a point in time in May where they still have enough time to reverse that decision.
Yeah.
If possible.
I'm sure they can, yeah.
I thought there was no reason to make that decision this early, in my opinion.
I think it's more of a play it safe, but you could have played it safe with doing it the other way. But let's not get into that. I think what we should focus on now is essentially the Bryce Harper proposal and baseball, because baseball has been in the news recently with how they are handling possibly starting back up. It
looks like a 50-50 split for the players and their salaries.
We need to get to that.
There have been some voices recognized, like Snell and Bryce Harper. Mm-hmm. Specifically, they said they don't want to have that, which is a shortened season, because they just don't think it's fair. But,
okay, so I'm going to read down Bryce Harper. Here's his plan. He wants to go to East-West like the NBA, which would make that it would be no divisions. It would just be straight conferences. I know there's divisions inside, but it's by your conference, not how you do in your division. Mm-hmm. July is 31 days. August is 31. September is 30. Yada, yada. 135 games in those months. An off day every 2 weeks on a Monday and a Sunday doubleheader, but only 7 innings each. So that'd be two games, but only 14 innings total of baseball. Playoffs as usual, and then a 2-week World Series, kind of like the Super Bowl, where it'd be a bunch of games, then it would lead up, like get a week off, and then you got the Super Bowl. Instead of like as you usually see in baseball, it just kind of jumps, and then 3 days later we're playing the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
I do like how he goes to playoffs and doing it like college baseball, though.
Oh yeah,
I like that too.
I think that's where it can get really fun.
The whole thing where it's in one stadium, right?
Yeah, Do it. Of course, Harper lives in Vegas, so he would like to do it in Vegas, but also Disney World would be another possibility.
Or the Texas Stadium, as he mentions in the proposal as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I saw the Florida governor said he was open for sports to come down.
He would love that.
Yeah, I mean that would just be big for them.
I think the college baseball thing, honestly, for most sports, college rules are always a little more fun to see. Like you're seeing less games, but you're seeing probably more in the long run with how there's much more at stake at these one elimination games, these best of three,
you see more competition.
You're going to see a lot more. Like I think one of the most notable things is that I still remember is when Madison Bumgarner comes in to save the Giants over the last couple innings in Game 7.
Yep.
Like you're going to see a lot of that. Like maybe for the Dodgers per se, Kershaw pitches the first 4 innings of Game 1. Come in Game 3, Kershaw comes in to pitch the last 2 and pick up a save. Like you're going to see a lot more interesting stuff, and managers have a lot more to play with, makes it a lot more intriguing.
If they have, let me stop right there though, because we all know Clayton Kershaw chokes in the playoffs.
I was using his example. Maybe this is the Dodgers' year if the team they're playing isn't cheating.
Maybe if they can get back there.
I think so.
But like overall, like what do you guys think of the proposal? Because I personally, for me, I'm enjoying how one of the most prominent players, like him or not, is coming out with a proposal. I mean, it's not like some guy that doesn't have a voice or doesn't have the popularity. This guy has the voice and the popularity to actually make a difference within the game. And by doing this, I think it's going to spark some change. At least I hope, and that baseball is going to be able to get on track sooner rather than later because of guys like him that are going to speak up and support stuff like this.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to sit out all season and just have to wait until 2021 to play again.
Yeah.
They want to play. They want to be doing what they love.
And there's so much money that they care about. Everything is still a business, and that's always got to be remembered.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper.
When do you see baseball coming back? The first game regular season.
I would love for it to be July 1st.
I was thinking July 4th.
Oh yeah, July 4th weekend would be perfect in my opinion.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Baseball comes back in July. Have it seen. I think that I think Bryce Harper could very much work. I think if he could get some support behind it, it's a possibility. Something I think the players would also be very into.
I think the whole issue though is money. I mean, it's obviously money. It's obviously going to be how are the contracts handled. Are they going to be prorated? Are they going to be a fraction of a fraction? I mean, that's where a guy like Gabe said beforehand with Blake Snell, he came out and said, I'm not taking the risk if I'm not going to get paid. I mean, it's not like he's under some mega deal. He's not getting that much money to play because of the way baseball's contracts are handled coming from the minors and then arbitration and then everything like that. So what do you guys think about the whole money situation and how that could impact baseball start date?
I think with Roy's idea, it kind of maximizes the potential of the amount of games played, which gives them the most amount of money possible, based on where we are now and how they're still not back yet.
In my opinion, you go, Austin.
I just think what you said is right. Like, if they're not guaranteed these contracts, who's going to be willing to take the risk to get this crazy virus that they can give to their family or whatever?
Yeah.
If they're not going to get the money that they deserve for taking the risk and for playing the game of baseball.
Exactly. That's my opinion on it because, I mean, yes, it's important that they start up so they can make a living. But if you're not getting that money and make a living, I mean, what's the point?
Risk? Yeah.
In my opinion, of course, there's risk and there's stuff like that. But also, these players got to see that they're known by everybody. They're national figures. And sometimes you got to do what's a little more for the people than it is for yourself and take a bit of that risk and bring back something everyone loves and would love to see. And, yes, you might take a little bit of money, but the hope and what you're doing for the American people and the Canadians is a whole other level. And that's where I feel like some players, and there are players out there that said, screw the money, I just want to play the game I love. And I'd love to see more of those players come out and less Blake Snells out there.
Here's the thing, though. Like, we got guys like Blake Snell and Bryce Harper who people will listen to, like, talking about that stuff and Bryce's idea. But then you also have someone like Mike Trout who said, like, there's no way we could do this right now. That's the whole situation.
I mean, with Trout, you also got to remember the guy he has a baby on the way. I mean, I'm also not of the personality to speak of someone else's situation because everybody is taking the situation in their own way. Everyone's got to make their own decision and how that suits their family. Because you got to remember, these guys are people too. I mean, they're not superhuman safe families. They don't want to get everyone in their family sick. They have people they care about. So
that is true, but
it's a very complex thing these guys have to deal with.
If the Angels are over there, what are they paying? $400 million, and they're saying, "Get your ass on the field." Mike Trout better be out there in center field, ready to play baseball.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, man. I don't get paid $400 million. I'm out there.
Exactly.
I'll agree to disagree on that.
I would say inject the virus in my body for $400 million. That's all.
Little disclaimer for y'all. We're from the South Jersey area, so most likely it's going to be very hard for us to badmouth Mike Trout because he's born and bred from our area. Yep. We played the baseball team in high school that he played for.
Let him home run on his field. We'll always remember that.
Trout field.
Yep. Good on Mill. 20 minutes down the road. So baseball, and now we're going on to something that's very interesting, and more news keeps popping up over the last couple of days.
Boy, here we go.
We've had 4 NFL players arrested over the last 3 days, and it's funny. I actually got a notification on my phone as it was going on. A little more interest in the Cody Latimer case. Cody Latimer was arrested the other day, and he was charged with 3 felonies, and it was over a poker argument.
Yep.
So this is the 3rd of the 4 cases that we've seen has to do with gambling.
Oh man, I mean, gotta remember, people are finding new outlets to be competitive. I mean, I can say as a college baseball player, I mean, I've been playing the show a bunch just kind of to keep my competitive spirit just running. And
I'll tell you what though, like
it's an outlet for me. But also, I mean, these guys are professional athletes, and sometimes yes, everyone has their problems and stuff, but sometimes you just need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize that one split decision can cost you your entire career.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just some dumb things. I mean, I just feel like you got to process in your head, like, it's a poker game. What am I doing? Going to an
hold on.
armed robbery. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is legitimate. This is interesting.
What one are you looking at?
This is Schefter on Twitter. 50 seconds ago, literally just popped up. And I don't know too much about this, but it's at a poker game argument.
Oh, wow.
And it's looking – this is what was just said. At today's hearing, Cody Latimer's attorney, Harvey Steinberg, told the court he was contacted by law enforcement concerning an investigation of a sexual assault of Latimer's 4-year-old son, allegedly perpetrated by an individual at a weekend poker game.
Huh.
Okay, so Cody Latimer might not be the bad guy here.
Yeah, I was going to say, break that down for a second.
I'm going to refrain from
discussing that. This is complete speculation on my part because that's all I've just read, that it seems like Latimer might have done this because someone did something to his son.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something we have to wait for, like, the proof to come out or, like, the facts.
I'm of the belief that you can't overreact to a specific story until all the facts are released. So I'm just
that's just his lawyer talking. So
I'm just gonna refrain from even having an opinion on something like that. So
it's just something that could come up later in the case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
On the other hand, let's talk about the case we know a lot about. DeAndre Baker and Quentin Dunbar. That's an interesting one because I've always been of the thought process that when you're playing GTA, that stuff is only stays in the game. I apparently was wrong. You guys take it away.
As an Eagles fan, I'm just happy to see that it's not been the Eagles so far in the NFC East.
Yeah.
See, we got an armed robbery, with an $18,000 Rolex, a hublot. What's a hublot? Anyone know?
No.
25.
A lot of watches, and there are 3 getaway cars, and it was because they lost. And because they lost $70,000 in gambling
Also,
on weekend in Miami.
Can you not wait until the NFL season? Like, wait the couple weeks or months of the NFL season. You're going to make your $70,000 back the first time you step on the field.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what they're doing?
For God's sake, Jordan would bet millions of dollars. But no.
One of them said, didn't one of them tell someone to shoot someone else?
Yes, that was DeAndre Baker.
Yeah, but the guy didn't
said that phrase. I mean, I personally, I don't understand how you're in the NFL. Yeah, you lose $70,000 gambling. That sucks for any normal person. That could be a year's pay. I understand that.
I don't got $70,000
but that doesn't mean that you need to go rob a cookout because you're losing again in high stakes gambling.
Also, even better, of all the places, you went to a cookout to rob people.
I don't know.
They must have knew the family had to be like wealthy or something. Like had an $18,000 Rolex laying around or something. Like, come on. Like, I mean, obviously,
I'll tell you what, you guys are kind of dumb here. Like, just reading about Ed Oliver and what his charges were.
Oh, that's another fun one.
While driving under the influence.
Never do that, people. Never.
And unlawfully carrying a weapon.
All of them have a weapon.
Okay, but I mean, all right, listen. In the grand scheme of life, that's just a young kid making a mistake. Is it a bigger mistake than most people make? Yes, but it's not like he was harming someone. He could have, but at the end of the day, I mean, think about the amount of people that unfortunately get DUIs and things
he wasn't harming anyone, but he could have easily killed someone.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
He did turn himself in though, so
that's
$100,000 bond.
Call an Uber, bro. Call an Uber.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got money too. Like
much better offense. He just lost.
He's the only one that hasn't gambled anything yet.
Yeah,
he wasn't one gambling.
Oh man.
I know we always see. There's always off-season or in-season. There's always controversies, whether it's a domestic violence, a robbery, a car crash, a driving. But I think just with the virus, I think it's been a little crazy. We've had 4 arrests over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Agree.
Like usually each off-season is dictated by one big scandal, whether it's Ezekiel Elliott, a Tom Brady, a Tyreek Hill. But this offseason, we've seen a couple so far, and with the NFL offseason not really anywhere in sight, I'm interested to see if we see more.
Do you think this is a link to essentially COVID not having the facilities open? Because if you really think about it, most of these guys will be at optional OTAs or the mini camps or everything like that. So, unfortunately, with those not happening and then being virtual, some of these guys are in at-risk environments, and with people that have bad influences on them. So, unfortunately, I feel like that could be a link.
I mean, it's definitely a possibility, but like these guys have home gyms, they have personal trainers.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
But most of them do. Like,
and these are players that are going on
check and everything.
Exactly. These players are going on to make millions of dollars in their career. Mm-hmm. All of these players have made or are going to make this money. And really, it really has to be that you're a professional and you have to be smarter than this. Like, there's no reason. Yeah, you lost $70K gambling. You'll make it back next week. You get
you'll be
heated in a
fine.
poker argument. It's not like you get heated in a poker argument and no one knows you and you do something and it's okay. You're a professional wide receiver for whatever team, a professional player.
Yep.
These players need to know that they're more than just they're human, yes, with all coronavirus, but they're a whole other level of standards that they need to upheld themselves and they're known to be upheld to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I think that pretty much wraps up episode 1 here of 4 Sports. Make sure to follow us on our social medias. We have, of course, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and hopefully if you're not watching on the YouTube or whatever, it's on also on YouTube at 4 Sports.
Stay tuned for more episodes, and we should be putting them out, I think,
soon.
Basically once a
Sometimes
week.
Once or twice a week, we'll have the fantasy show that we plan on doing as well coming up also. So just stay tuned. Put the notifications.
Make sure to follow us on all social media to keep yourselves updated.
And once again, thank you guys for listening.
I'm Zach Matik, Brandyn Pockers, Austin Kane, Gabe Arena. Thank you for listening to 4 Sports, and we'll see you next time.